At my local gaming store this week, and while looking at new games to buy, I found out that besides Call of Duty wannabes, and Call of Duty ripoffs, there wasn't a lot of original titles out there. It reminded me how gaming was so much better when I was young. Oh, the 90s. I remember all the time I spent with my Super Nintendo and my Nintendo 64. Those were good times, before first-person shooters were the only genre that existed. Yes, the gaming industry is starting to suck more and more. If you were not born in the 90s, chances are you'll have no clue what I'll be talking about. But whatever, it's not like you can actually understand anything I'm saying with my accent, right? This intro is getting rather long, so let's go. Here are 10 reasons why gaming was better in the 90s! Number 10. If you are a hardcore gamer, you play on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. And if you're a casual, well, you play on the Wii. The hardcore casual war has mostly started this generation and keeps on going, and it's getting freaking annoying! Back in the days, the war was Sony versus Nintendo or Nintendo versus Sega. Those were good times. You were not a casual gamer because you played on Nintendo instead of Sega or some bullshit like that. We enjoyed games, and it did not matter what console they were on as long as the game was good. Try explaining that to gamers nowadays. And try explaining it on the internet. Yeah, good luck. Number 9. Look at that. This is what a video game looked in the 90s. And nobody freaking complained about it. Sure, every major consoles were fighting about who has the most bits in their consoles. But the Atari Jaguar proved that the number of bits doesn't mean shit when you don't have great games. Unfortunately, in this era of HD and 3D and sexy shiny graphics and all that stuff, if your game does not fit the criteria that hardcore gamers are expecting, the game won't succeed. Yes, Okami, you were a great game. Don't listen to those angry kids on the internet, okay? Number 8. Nintendo has its fair share of mascots, but back in the days, everybody had one. Sega had Alex Kidd and Sonic, Sony had Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon, the TurboGrafx 16 had Bonk, whatever. Mascots were a big thing, and they were selling points for consoles. While you can argue that Master Chief, Kratos from God of War, and Drake from Uncharted are today's mascot, they are nowhere as cool and memorable as the ones back in the days. Look, I know it's a silly reason, but it's my list, okay? Live with it, or hate down below. Gee. Number 7. Remember when there was no internet? It sucked, huh? Now, imagine how you would live without it nowadays. Well, back in the days, if you wanted to play a video game with your buddies, you actually had to call them to come over to your place, sit on your couch, and enjoy a good old video game. With the internet now, you just have to go on Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, if it's not hacked, and there you go! Sure, it makes everything simple, but removes the fun you had playing with your neighbor in your basement. Number 6. As I mentioned before, there was no internet back then, so if you were stuck in a game, there was no forums or game facts you could use. What solutions did you have? Magazines! Yes, you actually had to open a book. Scary, I know. And if you opened it, you had to hope there was an article on your favorite video game that could help you. If you could not find any article to help you, you had to figure it out yourself and actually use your brain. Ugh. Number 5. It is easy to tell which type of gamer you were back then. What game marked your childhood? Mario or Doom? Nowadays, most games you play on PC are also found on consoles, which makes the PC gaming industry suffer a lot. Back in the days, you could not play Commander Keen on a Nintendo, and you could not play Mario on a PC. I miss the good old times when there was a clear distinction between a console and a PC gamer. Other than the graphics, obviously. Derp. Number 4. Who played video games in the 90s? Kids! So video games were mostly targeted at them, so you could find all sorts of goodies everywhere. Mario and Zelda cereals, cartoons, pastas, soup, name it. I know it sounds silly, but I enjoyed my goddamn Mario pasta, and I wish they would bring them back sometime. I just can't imagine a Master Chief cereal though. That would be just plain weird. Number 3. Remember when you paid $60 for a game and actually received a full game? Since patching a game was not easy and the internet wasn't a part of our daily lives, DLC was not something we were expecting when we bought a game. Sure, there were expansions that you could buy, but they added a lot of content for the price. In this growing world of microtransactions, you now buy a $60 games and you don't receive everything since the developers remove some parts and charge you a little $5 to $10 a piece.
Money, money, money. Must be funny.
Number 2. If you owned a Super Nintendo or Nintendo 64, you will instantly get that nostalgic feeling. Rareware. Banjo, Conker, Joanna, Donkey Kong. Such good games. And then Microsoft bought you and you started sucking! What is Rare doing nowadays? Stupid casual Kinect sports game! It hurts. It really does. Number 1! Back in the 90s, games were shorter. So, once you completed a game, well, you felt like replaying it a second time. And you still feel like replaying classics today. The same thing cannot be said with more recent titles. I would choose to replay Super Mario World way before Call of Duty anytime soon. Sure, there are some exceptions, but back in the old days, games had such a charm that you felt like replaying them over and over again. I'm glad I play some indie games because they seem to feel the same, short, but with an astonishing replay value. There you go, you now know why gaming in the 90s was better. In my opinion though, I may be just having a huge nostalgia bubble too, who knows, eh? If you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos down below and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss a single video I post, it really helps me. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you up next time.